Today we're going to walk through the tragic and really perplexing case of Tiffany Lucas. It's a story that forces us to ask some very difficult questions about the human mind and about our own justice system.
Just let that sink in for a second. This quote from Tiffany Lucas herself is right at the heart of this entire case. It's really the key to the deeply disturbing puzzle that we're about to unpack together. So before we can even begin to get to the why of it all, we have to lay out the basic, heartbreaking facts of what happened, where it happened, and who was involved.
The person at the absolute center of this story was Tiffany Lucas. At the time this all went down in 2022, she was a 32-year-old mother.
And this all took place inside a family home in Shepherdsville, Kentucky, a community that was, as you can imagine, just completely shaken by what happened.
And here's where this story becomes almost unbearable. The victims were her own children, two little boys, Jaden and Morris, whom she shot and killed.
Her older son, Jaden, was just 9 years old.
And his younger brother, Morris, was only 6. The loss of 2 kids this young is what makes the next part of the story so incredibly difficult to even process.
Now, after committing such a horrific act, Tiffany Lucas didn't offer any kind of typical motive. No. Instead, her explanation took a turn into the truly bizarre, forcing investigators and eventually the courts to question her entire perception of reality.
Get this. Lucas claimed that a whole list of strange, external forces were actually responsible for what she did. She said her mind was being manipulated by Wi-Fi signals, by social media, and by a man who, when police looked into it, didn't even exist. Right away, these claims pointed everyone towards the possibility of a severe psychotic episode.
Now, to really understand what she was claiming, we need to know what this word means. A delusion isn't just a weird idea. It's a fixed, powerful belief that someone holds on to, no matter what. You could show them all the evidence in the world proving it's false, and it wouldn't change a thing. This is a common symptom of serious mental health conditions, and it became the central question of her case. Was she truly delusional?
So you've got these incredible claims of mind control. How in the world does the legal system even begin to respond to something like that? Well, the justice system's answer was surprisingly clear and definitive.
The court's verdict was totally unambiguous. Tiffany Lucas was found guilty of murder. The jury decided that whatever she claimed was happening in her mind, she was still legally responsible for her actions.
And for those 2 guilty verdicts, she received 2 life sentences, one for each of her sons. But believe it or not, the severity of her punishment doesn't even stop there.
The court ordered her sentences to be served consecutively. This is a key legal detail, so let's break it down. It means she doesn't serve both life sentences at once. No, she has to completely finish one life sentence before the next one can even begin.
The real-world consequence of this is, well, it's stark. Because the sentences are consecutive, Tiffany Lucas will spend the rest of her natural life in prison. There is zero possibility of her ever being released on parole. It's the maximum punishment possible.
And this brings us right back to the core tension of this entire case. How do we reconcile a defendant's claims of a complete mental breakdown with the law's demand for accountability?
So you have these 2 realities in direct conflict with each other. On one side, you have her claim, my mind was not my own. It was hijacked by these delusions. And on the other side, you have the legal system's verdict. You were fully responsible for your actions.
And so, we're left with this final, powerful question. Why was she found legally responsible? This case forces us all to think about where our society draws the line between mental illness and criminal responsibility, and whether that line is always in the right place. It's a question without any easy answer, and it sits at the very heart of this deeply tragic story.